Hello, crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to this Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks tutorial where we will cut out stamped images using the Silly Goose stamp set by Stampin' Up. These are super easy to cut out. It is a new product in our mini catalog. I'll show you the front cover of this catalog. It's called Silly Goose, product number, let's see what it says, CNP. All right, trying to think of what the C and the P means. Cling, oh, it means cling stamps or photopolymer stamp. So you can get a cling stamp or photopolymer stamp. I have the cling stamp. I should know this. I'm a U.S. independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I should know what the C stands for. Anyway, anywho, the product number 160734, but it would be good to also have this as photopolymer, I think, because then I wouldn't have had as much trouble trying to get these little sentiments on straight. I didn't even notice that it was available in different product numbers until now. But that is a super cute stamp set. It's in it just went live January 5th. It's in our January to April mini catalog by Stampin' Up. All right, if you want to get this stamp set and you're in the U.S., please use me as your Stampin' Up demonstrator. Use the link in the description of this video to go to my Stampin' Up store. Now, without further ado, let's just put in a piece of basic white cardstock on the mat, and we're going to cut out the shapes for the stamped images and get kind of warmed up, and then we'll do this scanning and cutting a little bit later. I don't need to worry about my light for this because you can have your outside light on or your overhead light on, your side light, because all we're doing right now is cutting out some images that we're going to use for our sentiments. That's all we're doing. I was going to look for my stylus. It's like, once again, I have an empty bag. My mom has made me so many cases. So many ways to hang these things on the side. That'll work. All right, a bone folder. Who knew? Who knew the bone folder would work? All right, so we're going to go back. When you turn on your machine, you see pattern and scan. Right now, we're going to go to pattern. And because we're going to just cut out some shapes, we're going to go to these patterns here, which are the shapes icon. And we're going to go down to a circle. And it's this one, BA-A045. Click on the circle. Go ahead and resize the circle. We want a 1.5 inch circle. This is for our sentiment for the Silly Goose stamp set. We're just going to go ahead and make these cards. I promised you a Silly Goose tutorial. You voted on it yesterday when we were doing a different video. You voted on this Silly Goose tutorial. I was going to make cards with it, and I decided I have to do a ScanNCut tutorial. There's no way we're just going to cut these out by hand, right? And these are great. These are perfect for the ScanNCut. So I just decided to do a ScanNCut card tutorial. So now we're cutting out the sentiments. I'm just going to make 2 of those 1.5 inch wide circles. Okay, so we're going to set those on the mat. Put them wherever you want. I'll just leave them over there. You can put them to the right, whatever. Let's go ahead and add some more shapes. I'm going to add these rounded rectangles. Go to pattern again, shapes, and go to the rounded rectangle, the third one. Actually, I tried it different ones. I tried this one down here and this one up here. I think they both really came out the same. This one was a little bit more round, but we'll just go ahead and use the BA-A003. It really shouldn't matter because we're just going to go ahead and change the height and width. And it's not going to be in proportion this time. Like when you change the circle, it was in proportion. This time we're going to use this button. Check that off, and now we can make the height 1 inch. And it'll stay 1 inch, and this will, the proportion, these will not be in proportion, in other words. Okay, so we have 1 inch for the height, and 2.25, sorry, down. Now, it depends on your sentiment. If you're doing this without Silly Goose, I don't know why you wouldn't get Silly Goose. It's so cute. Go ahead and make 2 of those. Then you're going to have a different size sentiment shape, right? So this is just how to make shapes for your sentiment. So put 2 of those on the mat at 2.25 in width, and we'll go ahead and add the same pattern, and we'll go ahead and make a couple of them that are only 2 inches wide, still rounded rectangles, still 1 inch high. I always make 2 of everything because sometimes they don't come out, or sometimes like my stamp doesn't come out. Not the shape doesn't come out. The shape comes out. It's my stamp. Sometimes because it's a cling stamp, I didn't even realize there was a photopolymer option. I probably would have purchase the photopolymer option. And then it's kind of hard to make sure your stamps are straight. That's why it's good to have the Stamparatus tool. It's a good stamp positioning tool. All right, so 2 inches wide. And now we're going to make 2 of those. All right, so let's do some tips and tricks about setting up your cutting area if you want to. Now, if we want to, let's just show you my mat for a second. So I have, let me move these out of the way. I have some things behind there. All right, so I have, there's like, you can't cut on this part. Let's say I want to just cut on this part of the mat. Okay, so let's go ahead and do something. Just for tips and tricks, we're going to go into this little wrench, and we're going to say that we want to take the cut area, right, in the wrench area, and we're going to go whoop, because this is a better part. I don't like cutting on the left side of my mat, for example. Okay, so we're going to click on that area. So now you're saying, but Papered Chef, oh no, all your shapes are over there, and you're going to have to move them over there. No, you don't actually have to do that, because this little guy called Auto Layout, and just pick the first option, which will make them go any direction which it sees fit, any which way. This auto layout will put them in the area where you told it that your paper was in. Is that pretty cool or what? We have to remember that we're going to change the cutting area later back to where we have the geese, the gaggle of geese, after we stamp those. So anyway, let's go ahead and cut out those shapes. I hope that was a good tip for you. Always something new in my tutorials. There's always something for beginners, and there's always something new for those of you that have been around here for a long time. We always do some other tips and tricks. And there goes my craft-a-lanch. That's what we're calling it now, when things fall off my little table. When I get that she shed, there will be nothing falling off the table. I'm going to have so many tables. I'm just kidding. There's always going to be stuff falling off my table, because that's how I roll. That's how I roll. But we're happy to be able to do whatever we can. Oh, good. Thank you for answering Penny. Kathy is answering Penny about what the difference is between photopolymer and cling stamps. These happen to be cling stamps. I didn't even know I could have got the photopolymer stamps. See this? Right? I didn't even know. Who knew? All right, so now we have that done, and we got our shapes, and now let's go ahead and do a couple things. We're going to go back, and we're going to just go into this little wrench, and let's change our cutting area back. Cutting area, same difference, to have it for the whole mat. Because that way, wherever we put our little geese, it will be able to recognize them and cut them. It doesn't go fully out to 12 inches when you do cut area, because there's a little bit of a margin. Anyway, let's sing, because we have our shapes. Ah, we have our shapes. And there goes the So Saffron marker. So pull the mat off. Grab that marker. Good thing I'm still limber and pick up all these craft things that keep falling. All right, so we're going to take these off, and now we have our little sentiments we need for our little projects later. And stick around to the end if you know the drill. Those of you that have been with me for a while know that I show you all the projects at the end, and we create projects as we go. All right, now let's do stamping. I can turn this. Let's do stamping. Let's go ahead and unload the mat. And we're just going to go ahead and shut the machine. We'll just shut the machine for a second. Put that over there. Put down the mat. So, Silly Goose. Tricks are for kids. All right, we're going to just go ahead and get the Memento Black ink. Ink up the stamp. And stamp it on the mat to make sure it stamps well, which it does. And now I'm going to grab a piece of basic white cardstock. Let's see. I'll go ahead and get a big piece of basic white cardstock. And I'm going to bring the light a little closer and turn up the light. We will turn this back down again. I have it down because so it doesn't affect the ScanNCut, but we'll turn it back down again when we're doing our scanning of our stamped image. All right, so here we go. So we have these little geese. They're already connected. It's easy peasy. You just stamp them. That's it. All right, that is so simple. Unbelievable. Dun, dun, dun. We'll do it again. There's one little stray mark. Like that was just from the edge of the rubber. That shouldn't be affecting your stamped image. All right, I like that image the best. That's why I did 2 of them. We'll just do one of the thanks because I have a bunch of these already cut, extras, and we'll do one of the birthday one. And then I'll go ahead and do one of the that one because we have a trick for that one. Okay. Oh, it's stamping perfectly. All right, let's see. I didn't even have to ink it up on the mat because that one I just inked up a minute ago on my table. Now we have the birthday goose. The birthday goose, the birthday goose. Go ahead and look at him. He's pretty cool. Okay. He's stamping well. We're going to put him over here. So far, you have pretty awesome stamped images for cutting with your ScanNCut. Well-defined black lines, the whole 9 yards. This is ideal. These are the kinds of stamps that any ScanNCut user would want to get because it's a ScanNCut user's dream to have stamps like this. All right, but let's try this one. I purposely didn't do this one earlier because I want to show you how to mount a stamp. So you get this, there's a few ways to mount the stamps, but I just do it the simple way. You peel off the back, then you peel off the sticker, bada boom, bada boom. I'm mounting a cling stamp. Always save these pieces because this is extra adhesive all around there for the parts that aren't mounted. Turn over your stamp, and let's mount the silly goose. Now, there it is, and you can put it on a stamping block, and it sticks. You're just going to take your stamping block. Okay, stamping block D is a good one. Stick the stamp facing up, like so, and mount it onto the stamping block. And that's all there is to it. Same with all the sentiments. You're going to put the stickers on the same way. All right, so we have our silly goose, and now we're going to take our Memento Black ink. Why Memento Black ink? Because this ink is good for using with the stamping blends. It's a hybrid ink. The alcohol markers don't run when you use this. So let's go ahead and do 2 of these because we're going to try our tricks, our pencil trick. One with, one without. We'll do a little experiment. All right, so what do I mean by pencil trick? Right now, all of these are going to cut out perfectly because you have this well-defined black line. It's going to cut out, it's going to cut out, it's going to cut out, except, what's it do with the little waves? Well, it does nothing with the waves. It's going to ignore the waves, or at least most of the waves, because the waves are not connected to the little life preserver. So let's kind of connect everything, and then we can erase it later. Okay, and now it should connect. We have one outline. This is all connected. This one's connected to that image, and it should all cut out nice. And this one, we don't know what it'll do because we just mounted the stamp. How can we know? We could guess what it's going to do, which is probably not work, but that's why I did 2 of those. All right, now we're going to get our mat, and we're going to load our mat. Put the piece of paper on the mat. Now, I like to tape this and stuff with washi tape and do extra things, but not while you're scanning, because when you're scanning, you don't want to mess with the registration marks. So you don't need to do tape yet. If you were going to tape your mat, you do it after it scans. But I think it might be okay because I did put a little sticky stuff under here. So we're going to go ahead and load the mat. And then I'm going to see you at the machine where I'm going to pull this closer and tilt my camera, and you're going to see this a little better. So I loaded the mat, and to do that, I used this button here. This button. That's how I loaded the mat. So in case you're new to the ScanNCut. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to the beginning, which is the home button. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. 1 second. If you want to save these little shapes to use these again later, let's do that right now. Let's save these shapes. Save them to your machine. Okay, and save them to your machine. Next day, you come back, you're like, I'm going to use Silly Goose again. I don't want to make shapes again. I just, I'm using the same Silly Goose stamp set, blah, blah, blah. Go home, go to the home button. You turn on your machine. It's the next day. You hit retrieve data, and you go to your machine, and you go to the bottom, and there are your Silly Goose sentiment shapes that you need. Okay? If you don't want them anymore, just trash them. But that's how to save your shapes. All right, now back to our tutorial. We have the goose. The goose are loaded. They're on the mat. We're going to click scan. We're going to click direct cut. We're going to save the information temporarily to our machine. This is asking, where do you want to save the data? Now, we want to because I have a lot of images of geese, we want to make sure we select the 12 by 12 area. Those of you using a CM350 or ScanNCut 2 do not have this option. You only have the option of the 12 by 12. You don't have the 12 by 6 option. It's already 12 by 12 by default. Okay, recognition mode, it's always keep it in black and white recognition mode, even if these were colored, but I tend to never color stamped images until after they're cut out. Click OK. I'm going to turn off this ring light. Wait till you see how much darker it gets. Okay, we're going to turn that off. We're going to click start. the reason I'm turning off that light is because it's a sideways light. It's shining straight in like this into my scanner. And it's going to mess up everything if I don't turn off that light. It will mess up their scanning, okay? I just had to tilt it because the wire is also back there. I don't know why they didn't give us a bigger wire for these machines, but I digress. Click OK. Now, I'm keeping the light off for a moment so you can see the screen better. One of the great things about this is, yeah, this is really good. Okay, this is great. Okay, it ignored the object size, like I said. Let's go ahead and zoom into that. Okay, look at this. The one that we connected with the pencil trick, stamped it out in one image. The other one, the waves are separate. These are going to cut little separate lines. But what we could do, I like this, is we can ignore object size. Let's ignore the bottom waves. Let's ignore anything that's up to about an inch. You don't want to ignore things too big because you'll be ignoring the very things you're trying to cut out. So you don't want to go too big on your size that you're ignoring. Just ignore all those stray bits. It'll also get rid of that little black bit there and the black bit behind that goose. Duck, duck, goose. And you can also, so you can get rid of things that you don't want by ignoring object size. You can get rid of things you don't want by making a selection around just the area you want to cut out. The last way to get rid of things you don't want is to, let's click OK, is to go into this area and where it says edit, and we can also trash whatever we don't want. In this case, we want everything there. All right, go ahead and turn on my light now. I can show you some things while this is going. All right, and let me turn it down a bit. Ooh, I love that. I love that setting. It doesn't give it a glare. Now we're going to go here to this button before we cut out the geese, and we're going to click on the outline distance of 0.04. Ooh, not 0.02, but you can see you can make it bigger. Which brings me to my point. Let me find one of these little guys. All right, here's a little guy. Here's a cute little guy. We have an outline distance of 0.04 so that we can get a little bit of outline around the stamped image. If not, it will cut right along the black line. We don't want it to cut along the black line, okay? We want to cut it a little bit outside the black line, just like you would if you had a die cut. So let's keep that distance of 0.04. Let's go ahead and cut. Now, if you wanted to make a layer, I'm going to click OK and cut. If you wanted to make a layer, an extra layer, you could go out and put in some other paper. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that a little bit, although I don't really need to. We'll see. We'll see. I'll just tell you how to. How about that? I'll tell you how I do it, but not necessarily do it. So what I'm saying now is that if you wanted to put a layer of more than 0.04, you could use another color of paper and put an outline around this, which would be nice. All right, let me show you what I'm doing when it's cutting. This is my little thing. Don't get your fingers up under the rollers, but do this. It's kind of like playing the game, what's not the game, in the Olympics, you know, when they're curling, right? Every single time I see that really boring sport of curling, it reminds me of me sitting there doing this, right, on my ScanNCut. Because the people, and you have to be really precise. It's not an easy sport. It's kind of boring to watch, but, you know, I digress. It's kind of hard to play. The people on the team have to keep the ice smooth for the other person that's rolling the little, what would that be, a granite stone thing that they're pushing along, right? Well, this is me trying to keep my paper from coming up because the mats don't stick very well. So you could just remember that. That's like the sport. You are like an Olympian trying to keep your mat from coming up. All right, so there it goes, and it's cutting out beautifully. And we got to try a new stamp that I hadn't cut out yet, so that little inner tube is going to be adorable to color as well. But I'll color the ones I've already started coloring before. Yeah, Marilyn agrees with me about curling. Okay, it's not just me who thinks that. Marilyn and her husband think that too. Now, I love figure skating, but then my husband thinks that's boring. So hi, Kathy. Hi, Linda from Stamp, Cut, and Create. Mary from Kansas City, Missouri. Gloria, Marilyn, Kim, Cheryl, Rose from Colorado. Jan from Jenkintown, PA. What I'm doing, by the way, is just going to unload this mat, and I'm just going to peel these off as I'm talking to you. So who do we get to? We said Rose from Colorado. We said, hey, you know, Jenkintown. I have family members that used to live in Jenkintown. That is right near my old stomping ground of Philadelphia. Okay, hello, Jan and Lala's Crafts. That's Phyllis. Hello, Eileen from Arizona. And I'm just going to use, well, you can use your little spatula if I could find it. There's a little spatula with your ScanNCut. So you can use that to get it out. Oh, they're so cute. All right, and then we're going to use new paper too. New paper, guys. That's what we're doing. New free paper from Celebration for these cards. And I'm going to just be honest, I'm going to use a trimmer for the paper because we're not going to use the ScanNCut for the paper because I'm using scraps of paper. And I like to take scraps of paper and make the most of my scraps. So that's why I'm going to use that. All right, so Kathy's telling everybody where she's from in Loudoun, New Hampshire. Oh, wow, Elizabeth loves watching curling in the Olympics. It's kind of mesmerizing, and I find myself watching it like I can't change the channel either. So I call it boring, but then I find myself, like, it's like watching a fish aquarium where you're just, like, so relaxed by watching it. Like, or one of the other things I love to watch is the people who do the Olympics in the water aerobics. Is it not aerobics? Water gymnastics, water. It's like my second favorite behind figure skating. It's like when synchronized swimming. Synchronized swimming. That one is, those girls are bad to the bone. All being in sync like that and just kind of like holding their breath upside down, doing things. It's like, now that's cool. All right, so where were we? Okay, we're digressing all over the place. We have these, and we're going to erase now the pencil marks on the geese, and we're going to start to color. So that's where we're at here. Sorry, some sets have the new mini option. Okay, you're talking about, we have a new mini option machine, a mini machine, and we have, I'm glad you guys, there's lots of demonstrators here answering lots of questions about joining Stampin' Up! And our products. And all right, so good. Thank you guys all for doing that and helping each other. Hello, Yvonne and Sandy. All right. We are just going to go on and I'm going to show you how to color these. It's very simple. I'm going to use just a few colors. I'm going to use pumpkin pie for the feet. I tried pale papaya. That works good too. And I did little different colors when you're going to do these little guys. Well, of course, obviously you'd probably use Mango Melody because Mango Melody is one of the coordinating colors in the paper I'm going to show you. However, let me go and turn up my light again. I don't have Mango Melody right now in my Stampin' Blends. So all I have for oranges are these. This is Mango Melody paper. It coordinates with the cards we're going to make, right? So because I didn't have Mango Melody for the little feet, I'm going to use pumpkin pie on one side, like so. A pumpkin pie blends. And then I'm using pale papaya on the other side. That makes the geese look a little different from each other. If only when you have the two geese, they're the same. I colored them a little bit different. Because I wasn't coloring in the white parts, I was just using Wink of Stella. So I figured I'd make them a little bit different by changing up their feet and their beaks a little bit. So I made one in pale papaya. And then I did the other one in, let's see. We'll make this guy in pale papaya. In pumpkin pie. But again, if you did have colors, you should try to use the colors to coordinate with your designer series paper. I'm using Dandy Designs today. It's a new free paper that you get when you spend $100 at my Stampin' Up! Store during Celebration. We won't color that guy because that guy is the same as this one. So we have some duplicates, and we'll erase the marks on that one. All right. So right now I'm using So Saffron for the little beak. And I have two So Saffron. I have a So Saffron marker, and then I have a So Saffron. I had the other marker. This one, I have like a regular marker, and they come out a little bit different in color. That's why I'm using both, just to make them beaks look a little different. See, the one that's a regular marker, this one comes out darker than the one that's a Stampin' Blend. See, so now you have your little friends talking, but they look a little different. They got different beaks and different feet. Just something fun, just something fun to do. Now let's do this little guy. I'm going to take the dark fresh freesia, like that, and we're going to do dark down here, like so. Don't worry that it's kind of sloppy because you put the light over the top, and it straightens out everything. When you do the alcohol markers, they blend together. So when you do dark first, whenever you're doing dark first and then light over something, the light kind of helps blend them together. I just use circular motions. And then, of course, some Wink of Stella for our little bling on those. So fresh freesia because it's a coordinating color of the Dandy Designs paper. So we got that little ombre effect going on. And then I took this is another coordinating color. It's called Granny Apple Green. And I'm using the very small side of the marker because this little hat is so tiny and hard to color in there. Very tiny. So that one, and then you could use maybe, let's see, the small. You have the pointy end of your fresh freesia. And let's go ahead and take some pale papaya, make the little pom-pom on the top of the party hat. All right, so we have a party on birthday one. We have, let's do, I'm just going to do the little dots over here. I think I'm going to make this little inner tube light color with the So Saffron, with the green dots. Oh my goodness, we could do a froggy. I think I'm going to finish coloring him later, but I think I would do something like this, you know, with the So Saffron. I think that might look good for the inner tube. Because the frog, I need to really use like a blender pen to get the frog light enough. If I use a marker, froggy might get dark. So there's a froggy sitting on the back. I mean, how cute is that? But you'll see, I'll post my final pictures again on my channel or on my Instagram. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, I've been putting a lot of pictures and reels there lately. I'm into reels, which are short videos, they're called short form content. Right now what I'm doing is called long form content when I do a really long video. But it's actually kind of harder to do a 1 minute video. You really have to think about it. But I've been doing a lot of the 1 minute videos. And they're short form videos. So check out those reels on Instagram. It's just Papered Chef, same thing. So please follow me there if you're there. And if you have anything on your profile, I'll follow you back. Like if it shows that you're a crafter. But when it says private account, I'm not going to follow you back if it says private account. So if you want people to follow you back, when you follow them, don't make your account private. Make your account public so that people can follow you back. And then, you know, whatever, if you're showing your crafts, anybody that shows their crafts on their profile and makes their profile public, I follow you back. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing Wink Estelle. You might not be able to see what I'm doing, but let me put it up in the light. It's like sparkly. The geese are sparkly. All right, and then we're going to do the sparkly in here with the little banner, like so, and then just kind of sparkle the white part. So this is super easy to color because they're all white, except for the beak and the feet. So that's how I did that, and now I'm going to show you how I made the cards. And I want to show you how to make the outline distance. So there's a few more parts. So let's vote while we're doing this. I kind of like to let you vote. So you're going to vote on the colors. Mango, Melody, Petal Pink, Balmy Blue. Okay, and you're not voting for Fresh Freesia because we already used Fresh Freesia in the other card, and Granny Apple Green. So you're voting for Mango, Melody. Okay, Petal Pink. Or Balmy Blue. And what I'm talking about is the card base. All right, let me go back and show you. Right here. Okay, see this? If you want to, this is just the end of my scan and cut portion. Now I'm gonna make the card. But when you wanna go back, click on the back button. When you wanna make an outline distance around your geese, click on this button, go to outline distance 0.08, and cut another layer. And make sure you put the paper in that side of the mat. Want to go make another layer, go back here, click on 12, do another layer. Okay, so that's how you're doing that. I'm not doing it because I don't want another layer for my geese. I don't think they need another layer for my geese. It looks like Mango Melody is like hands down winning here. All right, Friction pencils instead of a pencil. What's Friction pencil? Hi, Chris, how you doing? Cardi, hello from the beautiful Bay Area. Hello, Cheryl from Melbourne, Australia. Yep. Okay, well, I'll have to look up that kind of pencil. Hello, Penny from Sarasota, and Dawn from Michigan, and Tammy from Nova Scotia, and Kathy, awesome, and Anna. All right, we're going to see, everybody seems to be voting on Mango Melody. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a horizontal card, because I like horizontal cards better, but the little panels will be vertical, but the card's going to go like horizontally. So it's going to open from the side. Like, I mean, it's going to open like a clam. I guess it's called, is it a clam? I don't know what we're calling it. You'll see it when we do it. Okay, we're going to take this Simply Scored. Okay, and we're going to take the piece of Mango Melody. We're going to make the card. We're going to turn it this, no, not that way. We're going to turn it this way. We're turning it portrait style, okay? Portrait style. So now we're going to go like this. The paper's 8.5 by 11. So we're going to go 4 1/4 down here. Yes, I have a, yes, Linda. Linda wants to know, do I have a tutorial cutting inside of the image? Look up on YouTube, my video with like the most views ever is called, it's one of the most views ever. It's called Cutting the Inside and Outside of Stamped Images. And I use the Beautiful Butterfly or Hello Beautiful stamp set. And it's like the most viewed tutorial I think I have. It has like more viewers than I have YouTube subscribers. Okay, so yeah, Linda, look up Cutting the Inside and Outside of Stamped Images. And hello, Catherine from Scotland. Okay, friction pens are erasable pens. Okay, good. I think I'll try erasable pen. I still need to show you how to erase that with the other kind of eraser. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I have the Mango Melody card like so. I've already scored it. Now I'm done with the Simply Scored. No longer need that. I'm going to take out my trimmer. And we're going to go ahead and cut this now in half. So we're going to make it 5.5. 5.5 long because it was 8.5 by 11. Right, so we scored it 4 1/4, and then it's 5.5 long. And voila, we have 2 cards. We have 2 cards out of 1 paper. So now we're going to take our little spatula, right, and we're going to go like so. And we're going to just fold the cards, okay? So that's what we're doing. That's the first step. Now we need a color to go with the Mango Melody. We can use any of these 4. Fresh Freesia. We can use Granny Apple Green. First vote gets it. Balmy Blue or Petal Pink. Ooh, not Petal Pink. That's not going to go nice with it. Although it says it's a coordinating color. Not allowed to vote for that one. It's an ugly color compared to those 3. So we're using Balmy Blue, Granny Apple Green, or Fresh Freesia. Okay, this is what we're going to put with the thing. And I'm also going to look for that eraser. All right, we're going to look for that magic eraser. And we're going to go ahead and erase while we're voting on that. Okay, we're using the magic eraser, not the eraser, not the red eraser, from the edge of the pen, from the back of the pencil. Just so you know, we're doing that. Now, at the end of that, you can use your little extra adhesives, like your extra pieces of washi tape or whatever you have around your room, your craft room. I like to use my little extra scraps of washi tape and go like this to pick up all those little eraser things so they don't end up inside my ScanNCut. So that's how to erase the pencil marks from after you use the pencil trick. You always need to erase the pencil marks. It looks like everyone's voting on green. Or was it the first one? Yeah, it says Freen. You're maybe trying to say Fresh Freesia and green at the same time, but we're going to vote on green. So what we want to do is for the green is we want to go 5 inches, sorry. Well, you can actually we'll do the 4 side first. So it's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, right? But we're going to do the 4 side first because that way we get more out of the paper, right? If we do the 4, then we can save this for later and get more out of it. So we're going to do the 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. It's kind of like we're making a mystery card. You don't know what I'm doing yet, right? So that's kind of what I want. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what I want to do out of this. Okay, so now you're going to take that and you're going to mount it. Go ahead and mount it. With rolling adhesive, Seal Plus, or whatever, onto your Mango Melody. Okay. So you have a 1/4 inch margin. So we have Granny Apple Green on top of Mango Melody. Oh, that's a really good combination. Good job, guys. I like it. So now we know that these colors are going together because in the Dandy Designs Designer Series paper that it says inside of the celebration brochure, it says that these are 2 of the colors that are part of the Dandy Designs. So that's why I know that they go together. I don't have to try to figure out which colors coordinate and try to do all this color theory and go look up charts and graphs and all this. I just look at the Designer Series paper and I know that things coordinate because Stampin' Up! Designers put the colors together. And that's why things just look right. All right, so I'm calling this a Designer Series paper card. I'm going to use 4 panels of little pretty patterns of Dandy Designs. Let me show you that in the celebration brochure. We'll just grab some scraps. All right, let me go ahead and tilt my camera down. like so. So I can do more crafting with that. I can put the machine out of the way for a moment. We're done with the ScanNCut. We're not done with the trimmer, but I can go ahead and put that there now. All right, so we're gonna take the trimmer and I'm gonna go ahead and write these measurements down for you. So first we had the card. Oops, was that the right, wait. Nope, nope, we didn't have the card like that. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just do it over here. First we had the card. It's more like this. Okay, so the card, right, is 8.5 tall by 5.5 wide. Okay, and then we score at 4 1/4. Okay, so that's the card. Now that's the cardstock. We used Mango Melody. Then we did the layer. So cardstock layer is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Okay, and now for the DSP, there's going to be 4 of them. They are going to be 3. Now look at this. This is 4 inches tall. This is a layer. These are going to be 3 3/4 inches tall. The pieces of paper I'm about to cut. 3 3/4 because they're going to be a 1/4 inch smaller than that. And then I made them 1 1/8 so that we'd have a nice granny apple green behind there in the background. 1 1/8. Sorry, 1 1, like that. That's an 8. 1 1/8 inch. Okay, so that's what the DSP is. So we're going to get some pretty DSP. Let's find the... All right, here's the celebration brochure. This is the Dandy Designs. It's free, this paper I'm showing you. It's with a $100 order. And I've been using the heck out of it. So now, I just need to grab all the scraps I can and kind of figure out what'll look good. So we have, I can't show you every piece right now because they're not really like that. I just have like some pieces and some, that one's cute. We'll use that one for sure. This one, maybe too much green on top of too much green. That's Calypso Coral, that should work. Okay, no. Yes for this one. Yes for either side of that one. And there's some that have a couple colors in it here. Let's see. Maybe. Okay, I'm thinking yes for that one. We'll see. Balmy Blue, Mango Melody. Oh, yes, most definitely yes for this one. All right, so I think I have enough to decide from. So I only need 4 little sheets of this. So I really like this paper because it has this cute little pattern in it. So let's go ahead and do the 3.75 first. We'll go ahead and do both of those. 3.75, or 3 3/4, right? 3 3/4. I don't know if they were exactly on top of each other at the time. All right. Let's see. Maybe we'll do this side. We're going to do 1 1/8. We'll do 1 1/8 inch because those were not quite on top of each other. 1 1/8 inch, and then we'll do the 3 3/4. All right. That doesn't seem like 1 1/8 inch, but it is. And 3 3/4. We'll lay it all out before we attach them all down there. All right, so yeah, so we're doing that kind of thing. That's what we're doing. This one for sure we want for both our cards. And this one's a good one. We can go ahead and cut 3 of those at once. I'll go ahead and cut the 3.75 and 1 1/8. The reason I that I didn't use the ScanNCut to cut these is because they were already cut down to small pieces, 6-inch pieces instead of 12 inches because I had them already cut up for my designer series paper share. See, that's going to be so nice, something like that. Ooh la la, maybe something like that. I think that'll look nice. But now we need a little bit of fresh freesia on that side. So, maybe I'm going to switch that one out. Yeah, I think I need this piece here. This piece is going to save the day. So I already had these cut down to the mark of 6 by 6, and then And then I already started using them for my last kit. So I already started cutting them down. And I don't have every single piece to show you, but I did do a video. Oh yeah. I'm thinking I'll kick that one out. Here, we'll do this one. We'll put that one back over there. And we're gonna kick out that one and keep the flowers. All right, the flowers are good. All right, so that one I like that. So just keep experimenting. And the flowers are good. We'll do a couple of those. And we'll do something with that other card. We already have a bunch of pieces here. I'm just gonna start attaching these. So I always work from the outside in when you attach things, because then you can leave the same border, the same margin. So I kind of go for like that kind of margin, like an even margin around the edges, and you work your way outside in. And I have a version of this I did with the Hello Beautiful, was it Hello Beautiful or the other one? Rainbow of Happiness workshop series. We did a version of this with only 3 panels of DSP, but we still did this back layer. So it's just really fun to be able to showcase. Whenever you have pretty papers like this, it's good to showcase them by showing a bunch of patterns at once. And it's fun sort of piecing them together. Come on. So always use liquid adhesive for this part, because this one has to be a little forgiving. Because you need to wiggle, you need to go like that and wiggle the distance, see? Okay, I want the exact distance between those two. You only have a real little chance to wiggle it before it dries solid. So you don't have much time, because this adhesive dries quickly. All right, so one card is almost done. We just need our little geese. And of course you can use wobble springs and other things. Ooh, that rhymes. Wobble springs and other things. 1 1/8 inch. These trimmers go at the 16th of an inch mark. So let's see about these two. 3.75. Good enough. I'm going to just go for those. They're already close enough. And then we have that piece. And then we need one more. Oh, this piece. 1 1/8. I love this piece with the polka dots because it has the granny apple green, and it has a little bit of fresh freesia. Has a little bit of different things in it. And of course I love that one because of all the flowers. All right, so we have all the pieces we need. Somehow, some way, the whole card disappeared that we just, here it is. Got our geese. All right, so that was the measurement that I've been covering up. Kind of like something like that. Yep, that'll look good. We're switching it around. I want every card to be a little bit different so that the pieces aren't in the same exact spot. Because then when you have your little sentiments, you can figure out what parts, where to put your sentiment. So there's a lot of contrast. All right, so you could see that although I have a ScanNCut, I like to use my trimmer. Sometimes I like to use my ScanNCut to cut the stamped images, but then my trimmer to cut all my little scraps. So use the right tool for the job. Use whatever you're comfortable with. There's no right or wrong way. If I was to make a bunch of these cards, though, for a swap or something, I would have taken my 12 by 12 Dandy Designs. It comes in a pack of 48 sheets. And I would have just used my ScanNCut to cut out these little 1 1/8 inch pieces. All right, so now we're going to use some ribbons and have some fun, jazzing up these cards. We'll put Silly Goose over there. We'll look for the fresh freesia. So I'm looking for, I did this little thing behind this little doohickey. Oh, first make sure your card opens up like that. Okay, make sure you're in the right direction, okay? Well, you can also make them go like that. So maybe we'll do one card each way. But now what you're going to do is take a little piece of this fresh freesia, and you're going to make a little loop-de-loop, right, for your sentiment. kind of like that. Just take a little piece of ribbon, fold it. Now you're going to get your rolling adhesive and go like that. And put a little piece on the card and go like this. Okay, touch that and put it right like that. And now you're going to put a little bit of a piece like that. And you're going to go like that. Okay, that's where your sentiment's going to go. And now we will take a little piece for our goose. Well, it depends if that's the friendship card or not. And behind these goose, I put another piece of glittered organdy. So that could be our friendship card. So we'll put a little piece of glittered organdy. I'm purposely keeping this a mystery for you so you don't know what's happening. It's a strategy I have, so don't, if you're like, what in the world is she doing? It's on purpose. I'm keeping it a mystery. Okay, so the little geese, they'll hold that on there. Okay, so that's where the little friends are going to go. And then this one can be the birthday one. We'll do it the opposite. We'll just take a little piece of glittered organdy for the top. Right? And we'll put that up there. You can see I don't really measure things. I just sort of know that they're going to fit. But that comes with just a lot of practice. And then for that one, I didn't put anything. I don't think I put one behind the birthday kid, the birthday duck. All right, or the thank you duck. We'll make one of them a thank you duck. We'll make one of them a friendship. We'll make this one the friendship card. So see, they're going to go like that with the glittered organdy behind them. It just gives it that extra little special something something. I'm looking for my mini dimensionals. Okay, these all look like regular. Yep, these are all regular dimensionals. So I'm looking for the ones that are a little bit smaller. Ha, there we go. Okay, mini dimensionals. Take them out of your paper pumpkin kits or wherever you keep them. And they help because you could put those behind the heads and things. Whereas the bigger dimensionals, you want to put them behind the body. Like so. So, and of course, you could use wobble springs on these guys too, but I'm kind of keeping the cards two-dimensional. Where did my dimensional go? All right, so now we need to put our little sentiments on with these. So this one is the friendship sentiment because they're doing like the little high five. And I really like the little sentiment that said goosebumps. I thought that was cute. It said goosebumps. That would be cute for like a wedding card. You could do that for like, you could put a little veil on one of them and put goosebumps, like you give me goosebumps, right? And make it into like a little fun romantic card, I think. All right, so what we want is our little shapes we cut out. Remember at the beginning of our tutorial, if you just got here, you're like, okay, that was the back of my paper. What is she talking about? At the beginning of my tutorial, I made all these shapes. I said, let's make all these shapes. We're going to now stamp and ink those up. Not in that order. We're going to ink them up and then stamp them. So let's use our new mini brushes. Let's take our new mini blending brushes. We're going to use Petal Pink. And let's see. Silly Goose told me it's your birthday. Okay, or we could do that one. We're using Petal Pink and Granny Apple Green. All right, so we need little ink like this. We'll go into the Petal Pink, dip into the ink, and just sort of do that. So dip into the ink, and we're just going to do this like sort of ombre thing with the new little mini blending brush. It doesn't look like anything yet. You have to do it a few times for it to show up. So it's a really light color. And we're just doing that to the bottom of your sentiment. Now you're going to take this one, and you're going to we'll just use the other side of that stamping block. Granny Apple Green. I'm using the other one. I got to get rid of the blob on that one because it's kind of dark. And we're going to do that little effect. Okay? So we're doing that. We're going to do it again to the circle. And to the smaller sentiment. Maybe a little bit more ink. Dip. All right. That's good. Little Petal Pink. Other side. Dip. Oops. A little bit on the mat. Okay. Notice, you see why I'm doing it like before I stamp. Because sometimes if you do it after you stamp, you end up smearing your stamped image. All right. So Petal Pink and Granny Apple Green are colors that coordinate with this project we're doing. That's why we're using those colors. So now let's go ahead and get to stamping. You're going to get out your Memento Black. Open that up. Tap, tap, tap. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. There it goes. It's finally stamping. 4th time's a try. Or 4th time's a charm. Is that nice or what? That ombre effect. So you got a friend in me. We're done with that one. Let's go ahead and close. Oh, no, we don't need to close it. We need to keep the ink open. Now we need to do this one. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, a silly goose told me it's your birthday. This is why you want photopolymer, because it's easier to line up. Okay, that one looks good. A silly goose told me it's your birthday. All right, now we have one more sentiment. Here it is. We have the one called, oh no, we just did You Got a Friend in Me. All right, hold on. There's one more sentiment. Something about the thanks. Honkin' thanks. Silly goose told me. Okay, let's put them together. Looking around the table. It's like, where do these things go in such a short period of time? I'm just looking around, finding the sentiment. Yeah. I'm wondering if I didn't take it off, or if I didn't put it back. Let's see if I put it back inside here. Didn't put it back, but there might be another one for the thank you. Let's see. Silly goose forgot you got a friend of me. Let's use goosebumps. I lost the one that says big honkin' thanks. That's the one I lost. And you guys probably see it right there. You're probably like, it's right in front of you. I think that's the one that says goosebumps. Wait, goosebumps. Let's test it. Is that the one? Yep, that's the one. All right. Taking off the little sticker. I can't see very well. We're going to make the thank you card with the one that says goosebumps, because it's still cute. Like goosebumps, thanks. Like thanks, you give me goosebumps, right? And then later I could find the big honkin' thanks and add a second sentiment to the inside. It may be that I used it and then washed it. All right, so goosebumps. In which case we should probably use one of the circles as opposed to one of the, because the sentiment is shorter. All right, goosebumps. Let's evict you. You can see why I lose things all the time. All right, cool. Goosebumps. Oh my God, that came out so nice. All right, so let me go ahead and close these and we'll finish up all our cards and show you what all the other cards I made earlier look like, which are the same as the ones we just made. I was just repeating those because I like to go all out. So we're going to say that this one is for this card. So the goosebumps is going to go on that card because that is the vertical card and that's going to be the thank you card. So thank you card gets the goosebumps with 2 dimensionals. Like so, and then it says thanks. So you can see how just the background of the card made a great card. I mean, if you did nothing else, you made such a cute card, just both the DSP panels and all the layers, right? You made a cute card. But then when you add the little geese to your card, I mean, it's adorable, but you can do anything to the card I just showed you. You can make any card you want with this kind of technique, with this panel of designer series paper. Okay, super cute. Now let's do this one. We've already attached it. Okay, we don't need the birthday one. They're little, here it is. You got a friend in me, right there. You got a friend in me. And because it's also kind of holding the ribbon in, or on the ribbon, it's just, so I put 2 dimensionals on it. Okay, now you can also add your bling. I have different kind of floral bling I might add before I take my pictures. When you can add 3 little pieces of bling, like right there, there's a little piece of ink. I would use a little bling on top of that to cover that up. A little extra ink there. I would use a little flower. Okay, so there are the 2 cards we just made together. And I'm going to show you the 3 cards I made prior to this tutorial when I experimented with this design. And I also want to finish saying hi. Okay, yeah, testing stamps too. So yes, I'm glad that you do that too, Marilyn. She says, I test the stamps before you put them back, before you put them on. I'm glad you like that, Jen. Thank you. And hi, Anna. Nice to see you again. Yeah, we're all here late. She's like, I'm here late. We're all late. We're night owls today. Lewis likes the balmy blue. Well, you're going to get to see how I use the other colors I was talking about. All right, so here's another one I made earlier with a different combination, but the same exact measurements. That's why I made you pick a different color. I wanted you to see how you could pick a different color, but still make the same exact card. See, so earlier I used granny apple green with a panel of fresh freesia and 4 little panels of DSP. And then today you voted on Mango Melody with a panel of granny apple green. So you can see it's the same exact card. Okay, you got a friend in me. Now, I will show you my birthday version. The birthday version is fun because I used designer series paper. Instead of a panel of cardstock behind here, I just used one of the plain pieces of Dandy Designs designer series paper and put that behind there with the 4 panels on it. A fresh freesia card, and it's a vertical design. But instead of opening the other way, like yours does here, yours opens this way. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter if it opens this way or this way. It's an A2 card, right? So you have lots of options. And then I made this one earlier as well with the big honkin' thanks. This is the stamp I've already lost, but I will find it. It's probably in my bathroom where I washed off the stamp, and that's probably where it's at. Or else it could have fallen on the floor. Super cute, and there's that ombre effect. There's so much more you can do with this. You don't need to have the ScanNCut to make these cute cards. You could cut out circles or use your dies and other things. But, I mean, having the ScanNCut is just fantastic. If you want more contrast, you just put layers behind your geese. And if you want your geese to wobble, you just stick them on some wobble springs. And you go from there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to get this stamp set or this paper, the stamp set is available now in my mini catalog. Okay. Oops. Wrong page. Here we go. We're just ending with this. It's available now. Photopolymer or cling stamp. We just used the cling stamp. Here's my Stampin' Up! Store. Then when you shop at my Stampin' Up! Store, if you love this designer series paper called Dandy Designs, then you can get all these different things for free. Many of them are $50 items, but this one is the free when you spend $100 at my store. And you get a 48 pack of this, and they're 12 by 12. I might not have mentioned that you get 48 sheets in a pack. So I love that paper. I'm going to be using it in all my kits and all my workshop series throughout. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Thank you for being here with me at night. And stay tuned because I'm going to put some bling on these, and I'm going to do something with those cute little swimming goose. Okay? That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day.